Then I go back with a little bit of water on my thumbs and go over the surface and get rid of the scratches. When the clay gets a little bit harder, use a little bit of water on this tool and it will do the same, and it will be very, very effective. When the mouth widens during a smile, different things happen. The philtrum gets a little bit flatter. If there is any squareness on the lower lip, it kind of stretches and gets a little bit thinner. Now, if we widen the smile a little bit more, what will happen? The cheeks will go higher a little bit. It will be more defined around the corners of the mouth. And oftentimes it steps down. You're going to have this muscle round, and then it will start again here. We can make the mouth a little bit longer, going to the direction of the ears, which will be here. The corners will be a little bit deeper too. The focus of the eyes will change the whole meaning of the smile. If you want her to look up, and maybe in the corner, you will have to make the upper eyelid a little bit thinner. By changing the position of the head, you will have a different meaning. By using a different type of bristle brush, you can refine the texture a little bit. Now I'm using a little bit of water. The mouth needs a little bit of work, and it's around the lips, and the lips themselves need to be a little bit puffier on the corners maybe. When it comes time to work on the focus of the eyes, it's very important to step back. If you're standing too close, you will have a tendency to make your sculpture cross-eyed. So it's important to step back 5-10 feet even and look at it in different lights to see if the eyes are focusing on the right spot. When you look at the piece up close, it should seem to look through you. That will prevent the piece from looking cross-eyed when you look at it from a distance. The placement of the ear should be vertically between the top of the eyebrow and the base of the nose. Horizontally, it should be behind the halfway point, a little bit more even. It's almost 2/3 toward the back. The ear has a slight angle, about a 15-degree angle. I attach the piece of clay firmly. And I give the outside shape first. The lobe, the contour, then I remove clay around the helix, which is the outside part of the ear, all the way to the lobe. Then I remove the inside, the concha. It forms the tragus, these little bumps. Then I push the helix back inside the concha. Every ear is different, so you have to study your model very carefully. Here there is a little depression in the corner. For some people it goes up, and some people it goes down. Sometimes this is very deep, and sometimes it's not. There are people who have this part here attached, like this, all the way connecting to the tragus. And other people, this is very defined here. The ear canal is at the top of the lower part of the concha. At this point, I like to let it dry a little bit before I go further into details. When I need a particular feature to dry very fast, I use a propane torch just to dry the surface. A hair dryer works as well. I don't advise you to use a propane torch, and never ever use a propane torch on oil-based clay. This is specific to water-based clay. Once it's drier, it's easier to take the details, all these little bumps down with a brush. If you use too much water, go back to it with a hair dryer again to get it dry enough so you can smooth all the round part and the inside. I like to leave some texture to it. Here is an exercise that I encourage everybody to try. The goal is to have a sculpture done in a few minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes and do a face. Start maybe with a baby, and change the age maybe to a woman, and then go to a man, or different ethnics, maybe Asian, and try to focus on the big picture. Like if I'm starting with a baby, what will make it look like a baby? The cranium is much bigger in proportion to the face, so build it up very fast. Don't worry about details. Get it to be around. The eye socket then will be a little bit lower than it would be for an older child. Little bit of the nose. Like I said, don't worry about anything concerning the details of the features. Try to find the shape of the skull. Like you have maybe a little bit more forehead. Concentrate on looking at your work from 3/4 profile and not too much from dead on. You'll get a better understanding of the volume that way. Okay, try to find what makes the difference. Maybe, the forehead, the shape of the forehead, the cheeks, a little bit of details just on the side here to make a little bit of puffiness, the cheekbone. Nostril will be a little bit flatter than it would be for an adult. That's all you want. It's like I said, no details, just the general idea. And see what happens when you squeeze it, or when you move it that way or this way. What happens to it, and where does it get you by moving one feature or the other? If I go a little bit thinner, it's going to get older like this. But if I move back in, you're going to lose a little bit of age. You can put just a little bit of ears maybe, just to give it a better look and to learn how to place them too. Just put it on. No details whatsoever. Okay, once you have the basic shape of what you're looking for, like a baby, don't waste your time. Keep moving on to something else that is drastically different. Like how can you make it older? If you open it, lower this spot, make the nose longer, like this. We get the corner of the eye out a teeny bit. Like this. Now, this proportion here is going to have to be modified to work also in the base. So slice it down, make it a little bit longer, and play with the clay. Don't hesitate to move things around. Everything changes. You change a little bit of one part, you have to change everything else. Like here I'm going to have to add the mandible. Here I look at the profile, what's wrong with this, and try to figure out what I need to work on to gain some ears. And let's say now I would like to get a specific ethnic.